Situational awareness. I don't like to call it situational awareness because it says that I have to be aware for a particular situation. I don't know what the right term is, and I've talked about this with a few buddies, Omni awareness, ever-present awareness. But if you start to train yourself to be aware of the situation, the circumstance you're in all the time, you'll always have escape routes. You'll always see things that you need for your survival. And then you'll be able to avoid conflict before it happens, avoid getting hit. So for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it situational awareness, but I don't like the term because it boxes it into one particular situation. But let's talk about situational awareness. So there's a couple of pieces. There's lots of pieces to developing an awareness of your surroundings. One is having a lower heart rate. If your heart rate is elevated, you're not going to be focused on picking up details. You're going to be reptilian brain taken over, very simplistic, very gross motor skill. So if you ran to a situation, you rushed in, and there's lots of adrenaline, you're going to miss a lot of things. You're going to get tunnel vision. There's physiological things that are going to happen in your body that are going to prevent you from seeing well. So keep your heart rate low. Don't run into the situation. Move quickly if you have to, but don't run. When you get there, remember to breathe. Talk. Talking forces you to breathe as well. Once we get there, as we're approaching, how do we look? So this is interesting. We all read in Western society we all read from left to right. That's kind of how our brains are programmed from childhood now. So we do it automatically. If you want to really focus on situational awareness, when you scan a room, you scan a field, you scan a group, you scan a person, do it the opposite from how you read, right to left. What will happen is it'll force your brain to slow down. Your brain will slow down, this is different, and you'll start to pick up details that you wouldn't have seen before. So if you've ever done a sniper program, that's standard fare for sniper program, that's standard fare for most special operations as well, how to scan an area. So we're moving into an area, we're keeping our heart rate low, we're scanning, opposite from how we read, and we're starting to register what's in there, what's normal, and what's abnormal. That was much easier to do overseas. So we would understand what the atmospherics were, we would understand what the norms were, and then all of a sudden, 3 PM, we'd roll into a village, and there's no women and children, and the dudes are very scarcely populated in a what would normally be a very densely populated village. That's something different. We would be situationally aware of what's the norm, and then what's different. But the same thing applies here. If you go up to somebody and he's making a fist and gritting his teeth, that's not normal. So recognizing that's a threat cue. Are there 3 or 4 people that were talking, now they're not talking and they're looking at you suspiciously? That's not normal as well. Are they trying to close off maybe some exit routes? All of these things you're able to see before you get there so that you don't get in trouble or you don't get caught up.